I don't have a lot of information for you on Colorado. We've watched some tape, and it's so early in the process. On defense, they're really blitzing. I mean, it's a blitz every 2 or 3 plays. They're bringing guys from everywhere all the time, and then offensively, I've visited just a little bit with Coach Young, and I know they've had a quarterback change, and their running back's making some plays for them, and so I don't have a lot of information from that standpoint. An update on Zac Robinson. He's over here today and has been around and had some tests done, and is, I think, fine. When you are involved in an incident like that, they're going to continue to test you every day. I mean, you guys know how that works. But up to this point, his test went very well. He was over here. I saw him at, I think, 2:30 or 3 o'clock today, was down there, and he was getting ice on his shoulder, and they were doing all those tests on him, and he was very responsive. And so from that standpoint, we're anticipating him being able to play this week, but again, they'll evaluate him each day. I know that was probably everybody's question, so I kind of stole your show there, but other than that, injury-wise, we were okay. Russell Okun was limping around a little bit. He had a little sprained knee, but he'll be fine. Some bumps and bruises, but for the most part, we came out pretty good in this game.
Mike, what's the biggest thing about a short week? What's the biggest thing you got to get accomplished in the 3 days you have?
Well, obviously you got to cut down what you do. You get one real practice, which is tomorrow. I said this early in the week. For us, it's new. In this far into the season, I think that we feel like that we have to be really smart from a fatigue standpoint of how we handle the players, and they'll be with us tonight, and you're less than 24 hours, and they were just playing in a game, a very exhausting, very physical football game, and so in most cases they've had all day today off, all day tomorrow, and we catch them at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock on a Monday night. So just try to take all those things into consideration and keep the guys moving forward.
From an organizational standpoint, how early did you start mapping out how you'd handle this, and did you go back at all to look? Because you've had one of these before.
Early in the season, though, Robert, we did it. It was second or third game, and so I don't know that we have the answers. We try to do what we think's best, and early in the season, you don't really have to change a whole lot other than cut down on Wednesday. But at this point, 7 days ago, we started taking into account that we're going to play, a game at Iowa State, Tech, and then Colorado. I think somebody said it was 3 in 19 days. So we started about a week ago.
Coach, are there any positives to playing on Thursday night? I mean, you talk a lot about the negatives in a short week, but are there any positives to playing?
Oh, I think you get obviously there's some exposure, and I mean I don't know. Kevin probably knows there's probably some type of financial value reward in playing on a Thursday night. But they schedule and we play them, and I don't know that it's negative. People talk about the difference. I don't know that any of it's negative. I just think that it's adjustments that have to be made.
Is there any thought to just sit them down, especially with such a quick turnaround?
We want to do what's best for him first. And if he's not ready to play, then we're not going to play him. Just sitting him because of the opponent we're playing, and I say this each week, and we're not in a position to just sit, and especially a guy that means as much as he does to our football team, and we want to do what's best for him and his future, and then we'll do what's best for the team next. And I think we'll have a pretty good idea tomorrow when he comes over here and they get a feel for, how responsive he is. And, as I said, today he was good. But in these situations, we bring a guy over and we run the test on him and they kind of take care of him. They always send him home. So they're not around watching video and just a procedure that they go through.
The maturity of this team seems to be pretty good. How much are you feeling you're going to have to remind them to prepare, strong, continue to do that? Because this is a team they're playing that on paper has struggled.
Every day. It's part of college football. And, again, I've mentioned this for about a year and a half now, and I think it's going to continue to be evident as we progress through these times. But I think one of the most important things in college football is just being able to get guys in a position to play each Saturday and to continue to play at a high level. I think that the older players that can grab the younger players and stay responsive and say, hey, you got to continue to work hard is very important. Well, he's probably sitting back there.
No, he obviously isn't.
That, I've mentioned this before, but, I started in journalism in my first year here, and one of the first things they told us was to make sure never be distracted in a press conference, but we didn't have cell phones back then. So, but the good thing is it doesn't distract me. I'm okay. I got 3 kids at home yelling all the time, so.
Coach, after the game Thursday, do you go back to the normal routine, or do you use that Friday and Saturday to watch some more film, get a little bit more work in? Or
we'll bring the players in on Friday, and then we'll give them the weekend off.
Mike, was Zac on the field as long as he was last night? Because the medical personnel insisted on it to make sure he was okay, or did it take him that long to get his bearings and be able to get off the field?
I haven't asked that question directly, but I'm gonna guess and say there's a lot of precautions that they take now when a young man goes down like that. And I mentioned this last night. When they get up under their own power and walk off, it's usually a very good sign. But we've had guys that try to pop up, and they want to check everything out, and they should. This game has changed in the last few years. More players are tackling from here up. The violent collisions that you're seeing, 2 or 3 or 4 a game, you used to see 2 or 3 or 4 a year. And so it's changed, and I think they go through a measure of precautions, which they should, that they're going to do for every player.
So when he took a shot to the head at A&M 2 years ago, you pretty well, by this time the next day, you knew what you were dealing with, but you feel pretty good now.
I don't remember what we said the next day back then. It's probably the same thing, wasn't it? Yeah, well, yeah, everybody knows he got dinged in the head, and I think they probably did the same thing. Probably came over here and looked at him and sent him home, would be my guess. And they'll bring him over tomorrow and check him out.
But as we speak, I mean, if you're going to go upstairs and work on a game plan for Colorado, you're doing it with the thinking that Zac Robinson is going to be your quarterback.
Yes.
Has he said anything about the play at all? Do you remember, or anything to you about those?
We talked about it last night. I recommended that he slide. I've recommended that for a number of games with him, and he gets really competitive. And I'm going to continue to recommend that he slides when he gets in that situation. But one of the reasons he's a good player is because he's very competitive.
Any thought, Mike, to how much mileage you've gotten out of this? You've got, I think Kevin told me 22 seniors, and typically you might have a dozen or so.
Mm-hmm.
You've given any real thought to how much mileage you've got out of this senior class?
Just a little. The other day at practice, I heard Russell visiting with some guys and talking about what this class was able to accomplish. And everything moves so fast during this time of the year. It seems like we were just I told some of the guys on the staff when we went to the movie Friday night, it seems like we were just taking off going to the movie before we played Georgia. There was guys out here trying to buy tickets and holding up those signs, and it seems like that was just a few days ago. And it moves so fast, so there's not a lot of time to really reflect. Most of that happens after we play our final game, and then we're start doing some recruiting and traveling around, have a little bit more time to think. You kind of reflect back on what certain players or the team was able to accomplish, and things that we need to work on and get better and change in the future to continue to build and grow.